Hi guys, so it is Riley, and we are going live to do a 1 year Riley's Rebuilds anniversary rundown. But before I get into this, I just wanted to let everybody know I have some puffy cheeks and I'm a little bit on house arrest because I am 3 days post-op from getting my wisdom teeth out. So if I'm talking weird, smiling weird, acting facially weird, it's because I just got my wisdom teeth out. And so we are now going to explore the photos of this year's Riley's Rebuilds. So I'm really excited. My dad put almost all these photos together. So I haven't really seen any of them. Like, obviously I know of them, but it'll be a surprise to both of us. And just for the people who did come in, like I said, I did just have my wisdom teeth pulled 3 days ago. So we are a little chipmunk looking. Okay, so we are going to go here. And I have a dual camera setup, so I think I should be able to see everybody's comments on the camera over the computer over here. So if you see me looking over here, that is why. So let's get started, which I actually can see everybody's comments. So I'm seeing a lot of highs and hellos. So hello, everybody. All right. So I know what this first video is. So this is the video of when we first posted the Riley's Rebuild
Oh, I just got two more.
post, and it's going.
There we go. There's another message on PM. Oh my God, this is
It's
crazy.
so funny. I
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Big
I
adventure?
wasn't home at the time, so that's what this next video is. Is actually I was in Michigan. This
Big
is me,
adventure.
Amelia, to go to Michigan. So I wasn't home when our first post went viral originally. I was in Michigan, like I said, and I wasn't in Wi-Fi at all. And I had posted right before I got on the plane to a little Facebook group with carburetors involved. And I was like, hey, I'm Riley, kind of explain the gist of everything, as minor as it was back then. And just ask for parts or if I could buy carburetors from anybody. And that's what went viral. So that's what this photo is. It's the post reach. So we had over 1 million post reaches, and then the post engagement. And that was our post specifically. That wasn't other posts that got shared. At one point, I think we had over 3 million. This is when all the boxes, oh my gosh, all the boxes started coming in. I don't think my dad or I were home. So we were just getting boxes on boxes on boxes, and my mom had to take care of everything. And she started meeting the mailman at the end of our driveway with a wheelbarrow to get all the boxes for him, as you can see with this. So our mailman loves us. That is officially when my dad and I had come home and like we had officially discussed that maybe we start logoing Riley's Rebuilds and making it an actual business. So we sat down. We were traveling at the time, I think. We sat down and called a design management person. And my dad knew exactly like what kind of branding we wanted, and we knew we wanted it very like old style creation with our animation for our logo. So that was Wednesday. So that was the next week. I still wasn't home at this point, and that was Thursday. And then this is Katie and I.
Mm-hmm.
So basically,
Opening.
I was in Michigan when this all
This is
happened.
this
I didn't know any
whole
of this.
situation here with us in Michigan, and that's what we all came home to, which is kind of crazy. And like I said, guys, I am looking over here. I know you can see my face. I have a computer set over here for comments, so I am seeing everybody's comments. I'm seeing a lot of hellos, highs, so highs and hellos back. And for those who weren't here when I originally started, my face is a little puffy because I got my wisdom teeth removed 3 days ago. So that's why it all looks a little weird. a little self-conscious of that. That's why I keep repeating it. But okay, let's continue. So then
I was editing. I looked this up. It's not a 4.
Okay, so this is when we first started receiving our official PR packages, and not only and Elbrock and all of you guys, a lot of you guys decided that you just wanted to send me carburetors for free, which I'm not going to complain about, but I think that's insane. We actually had a bunch of different companies reach out. So Edelbrock was one of the companies that reached out to us, and I made a little video, with all the PR. I made a little video about it, and I got.
I was editing.
The mat.
I looked this up. It's not a format. It's for the parts. Where it goes up here on the bench.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we definitely didn't get half of that right from the start, but it's definitely okay. And that's when I started bringing in all the girls. We had so many packages and so many people reach out to us that we decided that the girls and I were going to make this our full-time job. And all those medium rate boxes are a carburetor and a half. Us a bunch of PR and merch, which was kind of crazy, and we did a really cute little like Versus style background story on that, which was a lot of fun. And we kept sticking to Edelbrock carburetors. There's Dagny and I were working disassembling, and that's when we figured that we could enter into a little bit of a merchandise moment. So once we'd gotten our logo figured out, we jumped on really quickly and gotten some really cheap shirts printed out and just figured out. And we had the original neck design, and then on the back it had our codes. So when we were going car shows and other places, people would just scan the codes and it would send them right to our link tree, which was pretty cool. And then we continued getting more boxes and boxes, and we had fellow companies reach out to us. That's where we started making all of our really good friends and company bonding experiences. So Wrenching for the Future is a really, really cool program, and they help kids. And so they were instantly like on board with us. And so we have the 5 of us souped up like superheroes. So we had Amelia, Katie, me, Elaine, and Dagny. And I don't know, I feel like we all felt very, very, very cool in those. Me trying to process and carry the amount of carburetors that you guys require is insane. We switched from handheld to now trolleys. There's Amelia and I think I was teaching Amelia how to reassemble a carburetor at this point. And then this is Amelia and Dagny and I in the. Okay, so this is Amelia, Dagny and I in the garage.
We're all getting ready for the show this weekend.
And I'm talking about a show this weekend. So the show I think that we were going to is going to be
Our dirty shoes. This is Amelia. She ruined my shirt.
But I did 9 carburetors.
9 carburetors. What do you want to say?
I like auto things. And sour cream and onion chips. Goodbye. I'm going to
this is just us fooling around, I think.
I'm not letting her leave. She didn't finish 10. She only got 9. She only got 9. Get back here.
So this was us preparing for the show that we were going to. So yeah, this is Blood Drag. This is when Mr. Eddie reached out to us in a local trip, and Dagny and I went, and this is when we first brought our merchandise out into a show. And then I remember we were building carburetors on the floor. It was really cool to experience that first moment of understanding where Riley's Rebuilds was. I didn't really understand how big it was getting at this point, and almost everybody that came up to us knew exactly who we were, or yeah, it was crazy. It was a really crazy experience. And then And then this is my first auto. Yeah, this was the show that I realized how kind of crazy Riley's Rebuilds was getting. And then I left a little early for the show, not really thinking of it. We didn't apply to any of the car shows or any of it. And Dagny and I were going to go surfing because there was waves on the other coast. And my dad called me and said, "Hey, Riley, you got to come back."
Riley from Riley Rebuilds. I don't know if you guys follow her, building the cars over here. She's not even there. Where is she? She went surfing. I was about to talk about what a great, responsible, and she's building cars and she's surfing. I'm just kidding. You can let her know we gave her some props. And thank you, buddy. I don't even know who that is.
Okay, and this is when I come back.
And you didn't have to come back. Riley's back, everybody. Round of applause for Riley.
Back from surfing. I won a trophy and part of the Jeep group, and I didn't even apply. So it was a lot of fun. Just experiencing all of that, and so that's with Dagny and I going surfing with our new awarded Jeeps, and then we were all rolling out with all the cars. So we were all just running around town in all these crazy cars, and the packages kept coming, and we kept building.
I am dying here. We woke up at 3 a.m. It's now 6 a.m.
Oh my gosh, this
and
is
we are going to summit racing before we.
okay. This is when Edelbrock officially kind of reached out to us and said, "Come to the warehouses." So this was the beginning of our Riley Rebuilds and Edelbrock collab.
So this motor is insanely fast.
Vroom.
Yeah, it really cooks.
Of course, on our way up, we had
Dying here.
a race
We woke up at
and stop and get all the goodies, and then we got to the Edelbrock group, and that's where they surprised us with
Holy cow! What do you think?
This is so cool.
so many things. They made our little a new little banner, and if you guys can see there, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but next to the Edelbrock is the new VRS carburetor. So we were like, what is that? Is that a Holly carburetor next to an Edelbrock at the beginning? And then they were like, actually, no, that is one of the first carburetors. I mean, not the first carburetors, a new carburetor that we're coming out with. And we got to travel the facilities, and they did a little auto tuning. And then they decided to give us one of them. And this was pre-commission. There was only 6 made, and they gave us one, and they gave us the opportunity to announce to the world that Edelbrock had come out with a VRS. And so we all obviously had to go to Victory Lane and get the Edelbrock signed, and then what do you guys have data? But I literally could not realize what makes time on it looks super easy, guys. It's not easy. It was really scary, actually. When this was still summertime. So as summertime comes, I was a senior in high school at that point. And seniors in high school at my school get to paint their spots. So that is what we painted it. It kind of goes with the Jurassic Park theme. And it is a wonderful little collaboration between dinosaurs and the surfing that I love. And then we ended up pulling out.
I like this scenario. All the girls are there, and
my dad's engine for his truck. And that was what kind of started because we were going to dyno test it with the new DRS that we got from So that's us dyno testing it with the new VRS. And we got significant numbers on it, and we were working, and that's when news channels and TV shows started reaching out, which was a little bit crazy and weird. And so yeah, we got to do a lot of work with some TV channels and crews. We kept working, and that was us on the news. And we had a little watch party.
Yay!
which was a lot of fun. And then we kept traveling. So we did a lot of traveling at this point, and we stopped.
What, the Florida one?
And that one right there. Big Daddy. Don Garlis.
So we were going up to by the Fairlane, I think in Georgia, and we stopped at the Garlis Museum, and we got to see all the cars and the really cool shows that they had. And that's the Fairlane. So that's when I officially had bought the Fairlane. And that's me.
Hey guys, we just left AMD. It was fantastic. I'll have a video out for y'all tonight or maybe tomorrow. Gotta edit some things. But we are now on a secret mission to go meet someone very special, and if he is okay with me sharing.
Okay, so we had background. I'm so ADHD with this. But we had picked up the Fairlane in AMD's parking lot. So AMD was Eddie who did the blood drag with us. It's like body shop parts, and he said he would help sponsor the Fairlane as much as he could. And so we got to stop and meet him. And then on our way home, we got to meet WJ, as in Warren Johnson, and he was really cool. And what's funny, as we were talking about the Fairlane, and he said, "Can you show me?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure." He was like on his hands and knees, getting under there, looking at the car. He said it was a pretty good off, so we were like, "Okay, that's awesome." And it was really cool that he got to take a look, and we got a little tour of his shop and everything, so it was awesome. And then we had gotten home just before the Floridian hurricane that year, and so we decided to name the Fairlane Hurricane. And we had some heavy devastation with that hurricane, as in Florida does, and we did water ports for all the community, and then we kept working. And because in Florida, hurricanes don't stop us. So we kept working and working. And I don't know.
We're here at the airport in Florida, getting ready to board a plane to go to Cali.
Okay, so this is when we continued going to Edelbrock's warehouses. So Edelbrock has multiple places of warehouse. So they have a warehouse in California. So that's when we were brought out, and we got to go on the strip and see all the really cool shows. And this restaurant, I forgot the name of it, was so good. Oh my goodness. We went to Motor Trend. They were closed, but we got to kind of sneak around. And that was when we first saw Alex Taylor. We saw her running around in a little like welding helmet, and it was just like a short person in a full bodysuit of welding equipment running around, and it was really funny because we didn't know her at the time. And it was like me looking at my idol like a couple feet away, not being able to really go talk. And then we met Cami Edelbrock. So that was probably one of the highlights of the trip. We went to her house and got to experience her and her joyfulness and just how wonderful of a person she is. And we got to meet a bunch of other people. We went to a couple car shows. We went to the Lions Museum and got to meet a bunch of people. And we ended up running around. You guys can tell where that is, possibly, maybe. But we ended up running around finding some TV car burnout trails, and kind of doing what we were doing with Alex Taylor and Motor Trend, and just like hiding away in the background, not showing ourselves. And that's when we ended up going to the Garage Fathers, and that's when I had a car disassemble and rebuild off. Lots of sleep deprivation, and us back in the garage. A lot of this is the same work. We had another news channel come out, which was a lot of fun. We had Dagny start pinstriping. So Dagny and Amelia are very artistic, so we wanted to collaborate something with that and them, and so we got her pinstriping. And this was after the hurricane. We had started to do a live stream and a charity for a local animal shelter, and we ended up making like $2,000 in 1 hour, and it was sponsoring animals, buying shirts. The charity is called Second Chance Ranch, and they got hit hard by the hurricane. So we were doing the best we could, and we were building away. This was when my brother started entering his go-kart era. He used to race them, and he decided he wanted to build some, so we had to get the duo in there. And this, I think, is when Katie and I left to SEMA.
Hey guys, we just had breakfast in one of the West.
This was probably one of the crazy experiences ever. I had no idea kind of what SEMA had to hold or what SEMA was really understanding it mostly. But we met so many amazing people. Crashed bogey right before they were supposed to go on and present the car. We met Smitty, that was in this picture. Met Miss Bogey, and then this is meeting Bogey and Faye and talking about it.
I love it.
Absolutely crazy. And that's where we originally started the connection with Bogey and Faye. And then this is when we officially met Alex Taylor. And she was so sweet. And then she invited us to a Pennzoil. This is it. A Pennzoil after party at SEMA. Around Katie and I just talking who we were talking to. At some point, I think we were talking to multiple CEOs, and people told us afterwards that we were talking to CEOs, and we just like casually were going up and like exploring. And then we met Stacey David in the members lounge, and my dad not forced me, but like pushed me to go talk to him. And that's when we started our connection with Stacey David. And we met Mr. Greg, who actually designed and with the Jeep in the background, and he was really cool. And then we had Summit Racing reach out, so we did a live with them. And then we got to go into Tanner Faust's drift car. Oh, wait, is there a video? Oh no, okay. So then we got to go drifting in Tanner Faust's drift car with him, which was crazy. That was more of us talking with Alex and Bogey and Faye and Mr. Greg. And then we went to the Las Vegas lane. And that was our recap of SEMA 2022, which was a lot of fun. I don't even have half these photos. This is us drifting. Which was crazy. That's me. I don't know why these are in here, but okay. Wrestling, hunting. That was Manny. So we got Manny with my grandma's mailbox. And we ended up naming the little one Piper for a little girl who was a follower of Riley's Rebuilds. I think soda blasting. I hated soda blasting, but at some point I think I had to get in there and do it. And then this is us going to the final warehouse of Edelbrock. This was the carburetor warehouse, so it was like awesome to see the whole experience and really see how everything's manufactured, especially because that was like what we did. And this is when we started our RV trip. I think this was going to PRI, so obviously we had to make our Waffle House runs. Doing homework. We stopped at AMD again, Autometal Direct, dyslexia. And we saw Mr. Eddie again, and we got to experience the warehouse with the girls. And then we stopped at Stacey David. So that was when our connection from SEMA interlocked into this, and we did a episode with Stacey David, which was really cool. And that's all of us together talking about carburetors and laughing and having a fun time. And then later, Stacey David took us to his garage warehouse facility where he holds all his cars, and we got to like cars.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of run around like little kids, which was crazy. And Amelia fell in love with this truck. And that's all of us, and that's my dad and Mr. Brian. So that's when we officially got into PRI. When we were running around with a bunch of different creators that we were being introduced into. So Amanda, she was introduced to us by one of the Edelbrock employees, and that's us with Alex Taylor. And she finally got to meet the final group of all of us. We went to a female board discussion, which was awesome. And then I got to meet a bunch of different people, which was really crazy. And then we got to end up at the end. We started running around PRI when everything was closed, so we got to be like little adventurers, and it was a great trip for all of us. The amount of people we met the Motor Trend producers. We were rebuilding carburetors in the RV just to do it all. And 4 girls, it gets a little messy, so that's kind of our aftermath. And then we went back to work. It was time for Christmas, and this was one of our followers that sent this to us, which was so cute. I think I stabbed my finger with a tool, and it hurts so much. And then this is when we started shifting a little bit into cars, and not just carburetors. We were working on Amelia's car. We were working on my Jeep. Ornaments with all our names. So all our names were carved into it. Oh no. What did I do, guys? Okay, we're back. Which was awesome. It was a great birthday gift. Oh, not birthday, Christmas gift. And so we kept working on Amelia's Jeep. It's just the 4 of us cranking out work. We started working on my Jeep a little bit. This is just Amelia. I in the garage working hard with it. That's Dagny learning how to rebuild. I think this is when Mr. Smitty passed away, or we learned about it. It was really upsetting to hear that news. And then Michaela joined us. So Michaela is our Canadian friend, and she entered the garage a little bit and started helping us out with our social media posts. And then this is when we introduced that episode of Stacey David, and that's Michaela and I starting to do our social media aspects of everything. And then this is when my car.
I low-key think someone's trying to kill me at this point. My car is broken down 3 days in a row, and it's getting to a point where
I was being stranded at one point, like 4 or 5 times. Like my car would just stop randomly, and we couldn't fix it, and like we didn't know. Well, we did know what was happening, but like we didn't at that point. So it was a lot of work. So that's definitely when we started reaching out to a bunch of companies and starting to shift Riley's rebuilds not only into just carburetors, but also cars and Jeeps, and really fueling that project of fixing my Jeep up a little bit more. I was in my winter season of soccer because in Florida, our soccer season is in winter, and we had won our regionals. And this is when we also started going into
Can you hear me? Like, is it going?
A restoration shop near me, and they offered us to have full reign of all their cars, which was pretty crazy, pretty awesome. We started entering into some dual tunnel Rams. This is when I went to go shoot an episode with is the connection that we made from SEMA, and we've continued talking to them. I got my makeup and hair done, and I felt all fancy and really cool, and we got to work on the cars with them. And this was actually really strange because we shot an episode like 2 months before it got released. So I had all these photos, and like I had to keep them a secret, and it was so sad. I couldn't like tell anybody, but nonetheless, we continued doing some bird catchers, dual tunnel Rams, really making Riley's rebuilds like boost up a little bit, pop out. And then I had Daphne and Octane reach out. So this was when I was still in school. And the episode still hasn't come out. It's about to come out, so it hasn't come out just yet. But they came to school with me, and they interviewed me in school, which was kind of crazy. And then we have a strip right next to our house, and Alex was there for her car, and she was running her races, so I got to see her. And I got to see a bunch of other people. I got to see Emily, just a bunch of women that I was in contact with, but also like looking up to. which was really crazy. So there's Michaela, Amelia, and I in the shop. There's Dagny. There's me working at Skyway again. This is when I start really learning how to tune carburetors. That's what we did on the Bogey and Faye episode, but this was like truly when everything started. And then we started doing, I think these are my brakes.
We hate drum brakes.
Yeah, when I was doing drum brakes for my Fairlane. And this is like the most difficult process ever. Because I'd never done drum brakes before. And it was like, what is going on? And we met more women idols at the drag racing. And this is when I think and it had manual brakes and no power steering. So it was very difficult. And this was the first What Car Are We In photo with Dagny at Skyway. And us working on the car and just kind of goofing off, being girls, having fun, getting the car tuned. And then that's when after that, we officially signed with Edelbrock contract and became part of the team, which was really crazy. And that was when we went to our Top Fuel launch. So they were there, and I announced that it was official with Edelbrock. And then there's Michaela, Dagny, and I doing some carburetors, packing everything away. There's Graham, my brother, helping me drop off some carburetors. And that's all four of us in the garage together, pounding away. And then there's Amelia and I under her car, so you guys can kind of see the occurrence. And that's Amelia's mother, and she brought us hot cocoa because I was freezing and so hungry and moody that day. And so that's us working on her car and figuring out everything. And that's when we started getting parts for our Jeeps and the catalogs from Quadratech, and really getting experience with different companies and being able to kind of touch in with PR and I'm lost for words. Do parts for videos, and it was really when like the social media aspect like lifted off, and then continuing our work. And then we got Autocraft to reach out for the Fairlane parts, so they helped us with springs and coilovers. And then we had Edelbrock reach out and send us a full top end, or dual quad, and filters, and it was a crazy amount. And it was pretty cool. And this is more Fairlane work. I hit my head really bad. I thought I had a concussion at one point working on this car. We're doing our coilovers, our springs, our drum brakes. We were able to really transform the brakes at that point. And then that is when we officially started getting ready for Jeep Beach. And we were doing parts and getting ready and definitely making the Jeeps drivable. And then we had Miller Tech reach out to us, going crazy because we got like all these jackets and helmets and gloves, and we got a really, 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 really amazing welding unit. And this is Amelia and I doing our spark plugs on our Jeep to make sure that we are going well. So Crown was sponsoring that at that point. And we had a spark plug competition. Then I graduated, or this was our first kind of graduation walk. That's more Miller photos. That's me explaining the Jeep Beach video. And we had made Amelia's Jeep the Daisy Dukes Jeep, which was a lot of fun. And my dad had previously brought up my Jeep to Daytona for that, so it wasn't as much of a lug. We all climbed into an RV again, brought all our carburetors, and that's with all of our Jeeps and our RV, and our Jeep looked amazing together. And then we actually ended up going surfing and skimboarding while we were there because we were on the other coast, and the side of my coast is not wave happy right now, so we were really excited to get out there. My dad took my Jeep on one of these smaller off-roading trails, which is crazy. And then we came back to like a bunch of packages, like an insane amount of work packages. My Jeep kept breaking down. So when we were coming home from Daytona, I ended up driving home myself for like 5 hours, and 1 hour away from home, my fuel pump, that little rubber ring it, like just decided it wanted to die, and my entire car stopped in the middle of the highway, like kaput. So we were trying to figure it out, and that's what it was. It was my fuel pump connector. And so then that's all the girls back in the garage working. We got more PR, more people sending us cool things and awesome fun things, and being able to experience it. And then back to Skyway, we continued working for a bit. We still worked there. We did a bunch of different cars, and that was
Riley Parker Schlick Trask.
so that was the end of senior high school. So obviously, really amazing time. All of us me again, and then us going back into the garage. And that's when we got a bunch of parts for our Jeeps. Amelia and I were like, oh my God. And our mailman started hating us at this point, I think. Like, really hating us, because the amount of packages that were coming to our door was an insane amount. We were still delivering. And then that's when Quadratech sent me new leather seats, and I was like, I did not know they were coming. Most of the time, like, we know if certain parts are coming. These just like showed up at our door. We were like, what? We thought they had did something wrong, but it was like a graduation gift, and it was so amazing because they're great now. They're my Jeep, and they're fantastic. Looking around a little bit, just having fun, testing around with some work. This is when I think Summit sent us a new jack stand, and we were, because our red stand here was leaning, and it was not the best and safest. So Summit sent us one again without us knowing, which was pretty crazy. And then we got the Fairlane moving pretty good again. And that slowly leads us to the beginning of our summer now. So this is June 1st. And then, so it's me and Amelia, and the girl in between us is Kara. And with Riley's rebuilds, as we're all going to college, so Michaela's going to Michigan, Dagny's going to staying in Florida, so is Amelia, and I'm going to Connecticut. We need our next generation. So we have started to bring in the next generation. So Kara is my brother's age, so they are going to be freshmen in high school. So we're going to have a little standpoint of Riley's rebuilds back home. So then there was Smitty's celebration of life, which was very sad again. He was a great person. It was lovely meeting him. This is us having the seats, and we actually, so my Jeep originally didn't have it to where that front seat would flip forward. So we got the metal pieces we needed for it to do that, and it was crazy because I've never entered that side of my car before like that, so I was freaking out, having a lot of fun. That was us figuring out the fuel pump. And then this was what Edelbrock sent us. Edelbrock sent us an entire upper half, and it was crazy because we put it together, and it was absolutely beautiful. And this is us in the Fairlane. Oh no, that's my Jeep. Yeah, that's us working on the Jeep. It's so hot in the summer. This was June 4th. We were doing new discs. Yeah. And then
I'm putting sealant. This is sealant.
So this is also when we started working on a couple other things. So as Riley's rebuilds grow, and as I get a little bit older and end up traveling a bit, and especially because we're going to go to Connecticut, I want a bunch of tools in my belt. So my dad has been teaching me how to do a lot of intakes and work in general that can revolve around a carburetor. So we're doing a lot of tuning, a lot of figuring out the cars, and just in general working in that facility, which is a lot of fun. And then because summer came up and I'm going to college, we definitely looked out for scholarships. So we applied to Tech Force's scholarship, and I ended up winning, and then ended up getting put into a category of 5 others who had their own titles, who had won their own stuff. And I actually ended up winning the full voting Tech Force out of the 5, which was amazing. And we're gonna get all the prizes soon. And we're working with Tech Force now, which is it was insane and amazing. And still working at Skyway. And then this is what we sent for Smitty's celebration of life. We got the carburetor butterfly flaps and we engraved them. And sent a couple up there for the celebration of life. And hopefully we will actually have these engravements, the Rally's Rebuilds engravements, on the website up soon. We have a couple pinstripe by Dagny. It's already up there. And they just go on really simple and awesome. And this is slowly kind of where we are now. So my brother and I putting some carburetors away. We actually ended up going back to Carlet's Museum and meeting some amazing people and being able to kind of interact with a bunch of fans and the local shop owners, and definitely working on a bunch of different things. I continued working on Skyway Classic cars, and we just haven't stopped since. So this is, I think, working on the Black Widow tribute, and it was a dual carburetor setup. So this is actually the first dual carburetor setup I think I ever tuned, which was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. So that is the Black Widow, and that's kind of where we are at the end. So that is kind of our year, which sounds crazy, but that is pretty much Riley's Rebuilds year. And there's definitely a couple other things like in there that I don't think we added, just because I don't want to go over too much time. But yeah, it was definitely a crazy year, and I just wanted to thank everybody for their support and kind of just come on here and say like year's anniversary. And I feel like I've definitely matured and grown with Riley's Rebuilds, as I think all of us have. I didn't expect Riley's Rebuilds to be where it is now, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you. And so yeah, this will be a video up on the page. So if you stayed for the full thing, 45 minutes, a long time to just have me talking about some photos, but thank you. And I hope that Riley's Rebuilds will continue in the future. I do believe it will. I believe it'll go so very far. And I'm not leaving it for a while. And I know we have a bunch of awesome future things to come. So stay tuned for all of that. Right now, I will be recovering from my wisdom teeth surgery. So I might be a little absent for the next couple days, just because. And yeah, so I'm going to end the live now. I hope everybody has an amazing day. And thank you for all the support, and we will see you guys soon. Have an amazing day. Good night, everybody.